What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and I'm here today to talk about an interesting trend that I've been noticing, where there are about twice as many people playing Borderlands 2 as there are playing Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. Obviously, Borderlands 2 was released over 2 years ago now, and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel was released only in October, which was just a little over probably a month and a half ago. So, if we look at the 24-hour peak on Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, we'll notice that it was just under 5,000. And if we look at the 24-hour peak on Borderlands 2, we'll see that it was slightly over double that at just under 10,000. And now, there's a lot of reasons why I think this is, and I'll actually get into that in a moment, but we can even see that the all-time peak at Borderlands the Pre-Sequel was only 67,000, and the peak for Borderlands 2 at the end of the last big Steam sale was actually beating out that almost 2 years after Borderlands 2 was released. And so there are a lot of issues that I currently have with Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, and that's one of the reasons why I've only played Borderlands the Pre-Sequel for 35 hours. In fact, you'll notice I haven't played Borderlands the Pre-Sequel in almost a month, and I'll discuss why that actually is. You'll notice though that I've played Borderlands 2 a significant amount of time, and I have been playing it as recently as yesterday, and I actually plan to play it a little bit after making this video. Now, one of the reasons I do not like Borderlands the Pre-Sequel at all is the fact that there is no Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And Ultimate Vault Hunter mode was something they added to Borderlands 2 that I definitely felt added a lot to the game. In fact, I think Ultimate Vault Hunter mode was added at one of these two peaks here, but I'm not entirely sure about that. We could probably look it up. But we're not going to get to that right now. I just want to point out that Gearbox, this is their community manager here, definitely knows that the game needs Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and that people are asking for it, including a highly requested Ultimate Vault Hunter playthrough that allows players to go through the game a third time and reset campaign progress at any time. So they know that people need Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and they're choosing not to add it yet for whatever reason. And I think that that is an incredibly poor practice. It doesn't make any sense to me why they would do that. And I just think it's, like I said, an incredibly poor practice. I'm trying to find this little spot here in this video that I wanted to show you guys. There's nothing in Borderlands the Pre-Sequel that's as cool as Digistruct Peak. There's nothing that is as cool as running around in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and having a good time, because Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is really the only fun way to play the game. I consider True Vault Hunter mode to just be a complete waste of time. And there's nothing as fun as running all the way through to Destruct Peak and then coming here and then one-shotting that boss with zero, I guess two-shotting since I had to slag it. And then another thing that they don't even have is the pearlescent weapon class. I think it's incredibly weird that they chose to add all these layers of depth to Borderlands 2, only to turn around and rip all those out in Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. Theoretically, they could add it, with DLC. Obviously, at release, Borderlands 2 did not have Ultimate Vault Hunter mode or the pearlescent weapons that are fun to farm and throw off a cliff. And it just doesn't make sense to me why you would then turn around and release a game with less than its predecessor had. At the very least, you'd want to release it kind of where Borderlands 2 left off, having an Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and all those weapon classes and everything like that. But no, they chose to rip a bunch out of the game so that then they could build again with DLC. And I think that that is an incredibly bad practice, an incredible mistake that they made. And another mistake they made, I think, is not releasing the game with a sniper type character. There are some characters with moderate to minimal sniper synergy in Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, but obviously none of that compares to what Zero or Mordecai had in both Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1. And that's just another huge mistake they made. I know that Mordecai was a very popular character in Borderlands 1, and Zero is obviously my favorite character in Borderlands 2, and a very popular character as well. And they've kind of developed, in my opinion, a following for people who enjoy the sniper-type playstyles in the Borderlands series. And then to turn around and release Borderlands the Pre-Sequel with no sniper-type character, at least no true sniper-type character at the start of the game. Obviously, they're planning one for DLC. Another thing I think is a mistake, is just a little bit nonsensical. It doesn't make sense to me why they would do that. So I have a lot of issues with Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, and I'm obviously not the only one because it's not getting too many players right now. And, you know, for it to be sitting at around 2,000 players only a month and a half, more or less, after its release is not very good at all. That's pretty bad, in fact. And so tell me what you guys think. I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions on all of this. Another thing that Borderlands the Pre-Sequel doesn't have at all right now is pretty much any form of in-game. A lot of the bosses aren't runnable, and one thing they recently did was nerf one of the only things people were doing at the end game, as far as I know, which was farming Iwajira so that they could get a thingy launcher, and then take that to the grinder and grind it with a couple purples of the weapon type of the legendary they were trying to get. And it seemed like that was the main thing to do at the end game, and they just turned around and kind of broke that. And so for them not to have any type of end game by not having Ultimate Vault Hunter mode or runnable bosses to begin with, and then ruin the little bit they had, seems a little bit ridiculous. So definitely tell me what you guys think. I'm interested to hear it, and I would like to know. Obviously, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel is suffering a little bit right now. It's very possible that they do fix it via DLC, but Borderlands 2 at release was a much bigger and better game than Borderlands the Pre-Sequel was, as far as I recall. You know what I mean? There are definitely more runnable bosses. There were more things to do at the end game than there were at Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. And, you know, by this point in Borderlands the Pre-Sequel's life, I think we had already got one campaign DLC for Borderlands 2, and I think there might only be one campaign DLC total for Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, as far as I know, and as far as I've read into it. So definitely tell me what you guys think. I'm interested to hear this, because as of right now, for me, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel is a total letdown, and I think that's pretty easy to see. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm probably going to go write a review for Borderlands the Pre-Sequel right now where I talk about my issues with it. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and I do hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.